Nice. Happy Valentine's Day, fellas.
Oh, happy Valentine's.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Get me.
You said that like you didn't realize it was Valentine's Day, Scott.
I totally forgot it was.
He totally did.
Really? You went this whole day and not. I'm so like I get.
I had thought of it earlier, but I didn't recall it in the moment.
I see. I see.
It's not a day that I keep like super
Yeah.
present at the front of my mind, especially being single.
Yeah, it's kind of a whatever holiday. I don't know, but even as a single person, it can kind of be an exciting holiday if you're like trying to go date and stuff. Like,
Yeah, guess that's true.
I guess if you don't put in the effort, then it won't be. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a holiday I'm super
Yeah,
stoked about. It's a very commercial holiday, which
yeah, exactly.
fan of.
No, definitely. I agree with
Likewise,
you a
for
lot.
different reasons.
along with like diamonds and shit. Not a fan.
I agree with you a lot on that. That's definitely like a commercial holiday. But I also, several years ago, I started thinking about it a different way, like versus just like your partner or whatever, like your spouse, whatever.
Yeah.
Like thinking about it in terms of a day to just like appreciate the love you have for everything in your life, like your love, like your friendships and your family and things like and your partner and all just having love for all the different types of relationships in your life besides just
Walker. Just stop while you're ahead with Kevin. Just stop.
Just stay grateful. They try to be staying grateful.
Just stop while you're ahead.
He does hate hugs.
Oh man.
Well,
Well,
yeah, overall not that big a deal.
Speaking of life's little joys, I'm sick as shit right now.
Oh no.
What happened?
Did he get the Rona?
I don't think it's the Rona. Doesn't seem like it. It's like very sinusy. I'm blowing up
It's not
yellow
Rona. It's not Rona.
chunks of snot.
Ew.
Nice.
Yep. Real fun.
Lovely.
Yeah.
It's probably a good
been
thing
a real
you didn't
joy.
have a date today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not doing anything.
Yeah,
I took
you
the day
would've
off work,
either-
which was nice.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
You just lay in bed and do nothing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
sat on my computer. Laid in bed, sat on my computer.
Yeah.
I'm about to beat my first ever game of Stellaris.
I
I've
was
been
just about to
playing it
say
pretty much
that
all frickin' day.
that everything now makes sense.
Yep.
What is
Yeah.
what is Stellaris? Is that a new game?
It's like a sci-fi version of Civ or something, or like Hearts of
Oh, okay.
Iron. Have you ever heard of that game? Or
No.
Crusader Kings, I think. I think it's similar to that.
It's kind of like Risk, but like way more
Yeah,
complicated.
pretty much. A
Very
grand
more
strategy
complicated, and
game. Way
my,
complicated.
my experience has been a very high learning curve.
Yeah,
It is. It is
seems like it.
extremely complicated to pick up.
I would
Yeah,
say
it's
like
very hard to pick up.
on par with like Flight Sim learning curve. On
Yeah.
par.
I would say maybe even more than that. Flight Sim, once you get the basics of once you figure out how to get the plane going, you can like turn the joystick and fly. Stellaris, you're gonna fucking die quickly if you try to do that.
So what's the point of the game? Like, or the objectives?
You're trying to have the best score in the galaxy, which you can do a number of ways. You can take it over, like conquer it. You can become a political like powerhouse and unite the galaxy in peace.
Start on Earth, like.
You pick the planet and civilization you start with. That's what's
okay.
kind of fun about it is right now I'm playing as a series of robots who came from a past series of robots that they can't remember on a shattered like Halo.
Nice.
And it's
Hell yeah.
first, I've played this game like 500 hours. I was just
Oh, wow.
looking.
This
and-
one game.
No. This game period, like
Oh,
Stellaris.
okay, I see.
Yeah, not the
but-
same game.
No, not the same game. But this is the first game I'm ever about to win.
Oh wow.
And we'll see. It still could turn out that I could lose.
Do you have the difficulty really high, or is it just?
No, I have it on as easy as it's possible.
Oh,
to
it's
be.
just a hard game.
It's so hard, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so fucking complicated.
It's like when we started playing Age of Empires a couple years ago, and we're like losing to the easy one computer, and we're like, what the fuck?
It's like, imagine Age of Empires, except
In
the
space.
villagers had like 20 different jobs they could do. Like you
Yeah.
had blacksmiths and teachers and researchers and And
Yeah.
then you have 40 different villages, which are planets, and then, yeah. In this go-around, I became the Empire and led a crusade to unite the galaxy under my Imperial banner, then immediately disbanded my Empire so that they would declare war on the other robot species that was trying to exterminate the galaxy. And now I just launched my bid to exterminate the galaxy, right as they defeated
the
that.
final part of your plan.
Yes. Yeah, basically one way you can win the game is by firing off the Aethrophasic engine, which like ascends you to the next plane of reality by ripping the universe apart.
Oh my god! You have to like get the resources to be able to build it and stuff. Yeah,
That's what I'm doing now. I just launched into the final war where the whole galaxy has now united in war against me. Everybody's put aside their differences and said like, if we don't kill him, we're all done. So
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Nice.
It's a very epic, very long game.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should learn it sometime. I would love to play a game live. We could do that on the longest podcast.
Ooh,
we could
that-
definitely play like a 15-hour
That
game.
would definitely
of that.
be worthy of that. Yeah.
Yeah, we could totally put together a 15-hour game of that.
Ooh.
We could just do like a 6. We could do a day segment where it's like just
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to play the hardest, trying to learn the hardest games.
Okay, have you ever heard of the campaign for North Africa?
Yes.
Okay,
They
did we talk
mentioned
about
it in
this?
some. They mentioned it
this
in
like
some TV show. I cannot
The
remember
event
which
or
one.
like a game?
It's a game.
It's a board
the
game.
biggest board game. It takes
Oh.
1,500 hours to play.
Wow.
You can like
You would love it, Chris,
The
actually.
amount of details
Never
that
heard
you
of
can
it.
control in the game is insane. Like they basically, you can literally do anything.
Never
Yeah.
heard of it. Yeah.
So it's, as you might imagine, it is the campaign for North Africa in World War II. And it's made kind of as a joke, but also as a serious game. But it's a joke of those, like, super serious war games. War Room, I think, is one of them. I'm trying to I don't know any of the other ones. But, like, you know how Rail Baron is a huge game with a ton of rules and shit?
Yes.
This is like that, except it's as granular as the amount of water that the Italians have to carry is measured a little more. And you measure out, like, each platoon's ration of water each day, and the ration of food a day, and the ration of ammunition, and blah, blah, blah. It's so granular that the Italians have to carry extra water to boil their pasta for their meals. It's like insanely.
Yeah, I'm reading a
ridiculously
little bit about it.
complicated.
It says estimated playing time with 10 players is 1,200 hours to finish a game.
That's nuts. That's so long.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Stellaris takes less than that.
It's 19. It's 1,999 hours.
yeah, that's what. Anytime you're trying to sell that game, you just gotta. And then someone's like, "Ooh, that sounds kind of like a
It's the
commitment."
second
You're like,
longest.
"Yeah, well, let
It's
me
the
tell you about
second
the campaign
longest.
for North Africa."
This one's not as long as that, but by an hour.
This one's like 100th of that. Using the back scratcher that we got in our road trip walker.
Yeah, I think we bought that outside of Bryce Canyon.
I was going to ask, do you remember where
General
we actually
store.
bought
Oh yeah.
it? The
It's a
Ruby
good-
Inn or whatever?
When you're driving 10 hours a day, it's good to have a good back scratcher in the car.
Oh, dude, when you're not driving 10 hours a day, just existing.
Oh, yeah.
Back scratchers are clutch.
Back scratcher.
Back scratcher.
So,
So,
Scout's not doing anything for Valentine's Day. Chris, you were telling me school was quite hectic today with Valentine's
Oh,
Day.
yes.
This,
11, 12, 13-year-old drama over
Uh-huh.
Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
I think Scout is frozen.
He'll
Yeah.
come back if he can.
Yeah. You
I remember
know,
when I was in school, I always thought it was the only thing I really liked about Valentine's Day was actually getting all the cards from your classmates, and then I would just spend the whole day trying to build like card houses out of them in class.
Wow.
That was super fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, nobody does that. It's just, like I said, it's just, at least in middle school, who got what, who didn't get what, and how big the bear was, and the candy
bragging
wasn't.
about it, shaming
Right.
people who didn't
I
get
got
it.
a box of things and you didn't, and you have a boo and you don't have a boo. No one must like you, and blah. Who's your boo? And I'm not telling you. And blah.
Really commercial holiday. Definitely.
Not just commercial. There's a lot of drama over middle schoolers competing over ridiculous things.
Yeah.
And Scout has left.
Yeah, hopefully he'll reconnect. Yeah, definitely middle school is just like a lot of trying to figure out how you're better than other people.
Scout is
or
back.
Other people aren't as good as you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Fuck are you talking about?
I don't know.
I forget
I just
who
heard
said
like
that.
3 words that you said and tried to say something off.
I forget who said that, but yeah. Which author?
I've heard. I thought it was like kind of more an aphorism,
No.
like just a phrase.
I thought it was somebody's
Maybe
quote.
it is an author. I don't know.
Somebody's actual quote. You're probably right.
Chris, that Godzilla author poster behind you reminds me of The Thing, and which reminds me, guess who just saw The Thing for the first time?
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've never seen it.
Really?
It was great.
Never
That was a good
yeah.
movie.
Tell Chris what you think, because it is one of Chris's and mine's favorite movies.
Can I share something really quickly?
Yes.
So, as a teacher, without getting into detail, we're supposed to read stories together during one period a day without getting into all the details, why, and all that. But anyways, so the first one, I read a couple of good ones. Absolute True Diary of a Part-Time Indian is really good. Middle schoolers like that. I
Is
recommend
that
you read.
Sherman Alexie?
Yes, it is.
Nice. Big fan.
And so then I was like, these people think they're so hard. Let's read the novelization of Alien. So we read that instead.
Nice.
And now we're
Did that
reading.
come out after the movie or before?
It was actually written concurrently. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
And,
Who wrote that? Was it a famous author?
It was the guy, I think, that wrote the actual screenplay. Adapted it. The Alien screenplay adapted it to both a junior version, which I had no idea of, and the adult version of. Anyways, the screenplay.
Is it good?
It's pretty good. I said some of the characters are different. It kind of what y'all were talking about a couple of days ago, talking about the differences between the movie Jurassic Park and the book Jurassic Park. Really made me think, because even though obviously the Alien novelization's not anywhere nearly as famous, the characterization of some of the characters was definitely different, and some things that they really didn't talk about in the movie were in the book, and it was very difficult to say like which is better. And I might even think that the movie probably was better, handled things more quickly than the book did. So
Interesting.
but anyways, to go back to where we were, we're now reading Who Goes There.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yes, and Who Goes There is the short story that the thing was based on. So,
Oh. Huh.
so Walker,
Yeah.
you should give that a view, and you should give a read, and you
Yeah.
should give a thing from Another World, which is the original version of the thing, and from the 50s a view.
That's not the plant one, though, is it? There's a plant one,
It's
too.
but the thing from Another World is actually closer to the story than the thing is.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then they also made a prequel sequel.
prequel, yeah.
That was good. I thought it was pretty good. Definitely not as good as the original, for sure,
No.
but good.
Yeah, I really liked it. You know, definitely really interesting story that really goes into any time period.
Now,
And, like-
Walker,
Yeah.
did Scott tell you about the game?
Like the video game or the
No.
horror
No.
game or
No, we
the game, the
we
game
came
that we
up-
all just lost.
that we all just lost. No,
Not that game.
no, we came up with like a party game version of the thing. That did we play it? We did play it, didn't we?
Several times, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
while watching the movie.
You can do it while watching the movie, or you can do it just while hanging out too. But
Oh.
what? How do you do it? Y'all draw from a hat, and
draw
one
from a
person
hat.
is the thing, and
Somebody's the thing, right?
everybody else is not. And to make it interesting, you can all like throw $5 or $10 into the pot, and then like if the thing wins, they get the money or whatever. If people win, they get the money or something.
So somebody starts up at the thing, and they have to infect people by, I think it was holding their shoulder for like 10 seconds.
Or yeah.
Head or shoulder for 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Put like
yeah.
your hand on their shoulder for 10
Right.
seconds, and you like make it clear. If they ask you, like, I'm infecting you or whatever.
Yeah, I've
So you
played a
can't just
version
walk-
of this camping before.
Yeah, you can't just
Yeah,
walk
yeah,
by
yeah.
and be like, "Hey, you're the thing." No.
Yeah,
But if the people catch you, then they'll kill you. So
Yes.
people can win. Yeah.
The version I did was like a quick camping version, and it's like everybody kind of like hangs out. You like figure out who's the thing, and then you walk around and you shake. You just like shake hands. You alternate shaking hands, and then like if you're the thing, you're supposed to like scratch their palm when you shake their hand. And then it was like if you get your palm scratched, then on the fourth handshake after that, you're supposed to die. And like you go around and you try to figure out who the thing is. Like,
Okay.
it was pretty fun. Yeah, it's pretty quick.
This was similar
yeah.
to that, except it wasn't. It was more like a party all night. Like,
Yeah, that one I was
You
going to
play
say is
for
like
2
a
or
long
3
game.
hours.
Yeah,
yeah, this is like you have 15 people, you're drinking or whatever.
which would
And,
also
like-
be fun camping doing that. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
definitely a
Well, it's cool
great
because in a
camp
very
game.
long game, you can like, you go for a walk or whatever. Or, like, you gotta, hey, I'm gonna go let the dog out. Oh, cool, I'll come and let my dog out too, or whatever. You get chances to infect people and stuff. It's
Yeah.
Really, Scout, what I think is we should just get royalty checks from Among Us.
yeah, exactly, dude.
Deserve some credit. Because that was
That
like
would've been,
10, 12, 13, 14 years ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Among
the
Us.
other great thing about the movie though was when did it come out? 1982 or something?
82.
Like, early 80s,
The
yeah.
effects,
The
dude.
the knowing that
Practical
all of
effects.
it is done with like actual practical effects that they had to make is like some pretty
Yep.
impressive stuff in there.
Incredible effects.
Yeah, it still holds up very well. Like a lot of it, some of it
Yeah.
is like looks a little cheesy, but it's like during the time you still respect it for the time period that it was
Oh,
done.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Because at this point, even the film is a little grainier and a little older than, know,
Mhm.
which I think lends it a really cool feel.
Yeah.
And then I guess should we spoiler alert give thought on the ending?
Yeah,
I think we
spoiler
should
alert.
wait a
We've
while.
given the-
Wait a while.
I've just given
wait
the
a while and
spoiler
see what
alert.
happens. Just wait a while and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think we
You
should
know,
do that.
somebody who, if it's been out since 1982, if you haven't watched it yet.
I think, yeah.
Well, if you haven't watched it, pause it and go watch it if you don't want it spoiled.
yeah.
Or mute it
Yeah.
for a couple minutes. But, yeah, I love it. I love that it's ambiguous. And also, I kind of think that there's, like, I don't know. I've read several different theories that I think are really interesting. One of which is that, like, the whiskey that he shares is actually gasoline. And so that when Childs drinks it, it, like, alerts McCready that Childs is the thing.
I've never heard that theory, but
I read that somewhere once.
yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I guess-
what do you think of the ending?
Well, your initial thing upon the viewing is kind of that, oh, maybe he was a thing the whole time, and he's infecting the other guy, Childs,
Oh, Childs.
with the
okay.
drink.
Yeah.
Because they mentioned earlier in the movie that, like, it could transmit through food and drink, and, like,
Yeah,
offering a drink just seemed like a pretty obvious sign there.
that's
but,
interesting. So you thought it was him, that he was the thing the whole time?
That was my initial thing, but then, thinking about it more, you're like, okay, I could see a scenario where, like, the other guy was the thing, then he, like, is he poisoning him or something? Like,
The other thing I would say is, it could just be him, like, admitting defeat. Like, him saying, like, even if we both die right now, you're gonna freeze if you are the thing. So, like, it doesn't
Well-
at least I finished my goal, which was to stop the thing for now.
well, if it was a thing and it froze, wouldn't it, in theory, still be able to come back to life once they recovered the
Oh, yeah.
body? So that
It's
was
still
kind of
dangerous.
That's
It's
why they
still
were burning
dangerous
the
for
bodies.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I think it could also be seen as, like, I did my job. Like, I did what I could before dying, which was pause the thing, and hopefully somebody who comes to investigate will figure it out or whatever. But
Yeah.
did what I could.
Again.
You know,
Again.
yeah.
I pointed out to Scout, but you know how at the beginning of the movie the Norwegian people come like chasing after the dog that you find
Yes,
out is
right.
the thing, and
Right, yeah.
if you actually understand Norwegian, the guy literally yells out exactly what's gonna happen, like what it is and what's gonna happen, like in Norwegian.
What's he say? It's like that dog's
He's
a
like,
monster. Or
the
something.
dog is an alien. It infects people. It will infect you all. Like it basically just like if they had actually understood him, they would have like immediately been able to deal with the whole thing.
Yeah. The whole thing.
Oh yeah. Haha.
Which, by the way, I think I mentioned it, but that's where the prequel takes place, is at the Norwegian camp.
Right. It ends with the dog running away.
Spoiler, yeah, it ends with
Yeah.
the dog running off into the wilderness and then
Right, yeah.
taking flight in the helicopter after it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Great
Yeah.
flick. I'd
Classic
recommend. Would
movie.
recommend. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Also one way better than the story.
Kurt Russell
sure.
was very good in it. I really like his
Yes.
performance. He was excellent.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. In reading it again, Who Goes There? It's kind of, it's not hilarious, but knowing the movie, the first chapter is just like, and we found the alien. This happened. Here we go. And it's on the table.
Right.
Bam. There's
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, woo. We
That
are condensing story here. Yeah.
That is by something Campbell or something.
He's a famous.
Campbell something. I read a
Famous
collection
short
that
story.
had that.
Famous short story.
Yeah.
What? I can find it.
His collection of short stories was pretty good. I could actually see myself recommending that for the book club.
Yeah. We had our first book club meeting last weekend.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to join? Hit us
Let us
up.
know.
Hit us up
Hey,
in the
I would
comments.
actually say I
whatever.
would be down to ask the crew if they would be down to record, like as if it were a podcast episode. That seems like cool content we could produce.
Yeah, maybe. Some people might not want to.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah, if anybody said no, I'd be fine to be like, okay, cool. Just thought I'd ask.
You don't think people on the internet get enough of your ugly ass face?
No, dude, I think they want more. Well, I think they want to see other people. That's why.
Yeah,
think they're
that's
tired
a
of
good
my
point.
face.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
They wanna
There's
see other
girls in
people's
the book
faces.
club. A rare occurrence on this podcast.
Yeah, we could reach a whole new demographic.
Oh.
Those sweet, sweet numbers, baby.
Chris, are you still looking that up?
You give me 1 second. I know
what's he
I
looking
read-
up?
He was
Who
looking
wrote,
up the author.
Who Goes
Does it
There?
take place in Antarctica?
Howard
Like, is it
Campbell?
pretty
Yes, it
much the
does.
same?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
okay, so
does.
it's literally okay.
One weird difference is you've read the story, right, Chris? Before?
Yes.
The alien in the story is like building an
John
anti-gravity jumping device.
Yeah.
It's like gonna jump through some weird anti-gravity device back to the continental like mainland,
Huh.
John Campbell.
which is nice. Thank you. Which is a very weird.
and it makes like eggs, if I remember correctly.
Does it?
Which is not really like a thing in the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. So
It's just interesting. It's definitely not written as like a horror story as much as the movie is. The
yes,
movie is like
movie is definitely more straightforward, like oh shit, horror.
terror. Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
people getting murked.
But yeah,
Off this fucking
definitely
couch.
I would
Oh.
safe to say we'd all recommend it.
Yes, very good film.
Check it out.
9.5 out of 10, I would say. Maybe even a 10. Maybe even a 10.
In the
Another good short story, and I don't remember who wrote it. Is We Can Remember It For You Wholesale. Which,
Philip K. Dick.
I said which became
That's what
Sci-fi.
Total Recall is
which
based
became
off of.
Total Recall, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well,
I have real quick. Sorry,
go ahead.
I have some data I would like to share with us.
About what?
About the number of letters in a can
of soup.
of Campbell's
Oh,
soup.
nice. Doing some research.
Okay.
Oh, I guess research. Did some data gathering. How do I share
Okay.
my screen?
There's a spreadsheet inbound. Just brace yourself.
It's not a spreadsheet. It's actually coding.
Oh,
Surprise, surprise, surprise. How do I share my screen?
click share in the bottom there.
So you
I
made
know
up
it.
a code
There
to
we
try
go.
to estimate.
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of proud of it. Uh-oh.
It's sharing. Woo! Inception.
Okay. How's
Let's
this?
see Scott's naughty files. Okay.
How's
Yeah,
that?
this is my little code called
Uh-huh.
letter counter. Taking a string and then build a dictionary, which is a key and a value. And then for every letter, for every character in the string, if it exists as a key in the dictionary, add 1 to it, or else start it with 1 and then sort that. And so what I found in my first can was these were the letters. Well, this was the raw data that I had, which I just sat there with a bowl as I was watching, I think, Rick and Morty. No.
So
I was
you
watching
collected
Bob's
actual
Burgers.
data.
You
Yeah,
actually
this
went
is from
through and
eating a
counted.
bowl of
Nice.
soup. Yeah, I
Nice.
sat here. So yeah, I've been sick for a couple days. So yesterday I took the afternoon off. Today I took the whole day
Bravo.
off. And I decided while I was sick I would try to do some work, try to be a responsible human being. But yeah, so yesterday the can had 143 letters and no complete alphabet. There were actually a couple letters that were missing.
Really?
Yeah. So we
Wait,
had.
but there's... Okay, never mind.
There's what?
There's a lot more than... I was going to say there's more than 140 letters in the can, but there's obviously multiples of a lot of those. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of I's. So Campbell's soup ends up with for sure a lot of broken letters. Like
So
at
the one
end of
you
the
sorted
can,
through did not have a full set, you're saying? That's...
the one that I actually checked, and I also strongly suspect that the one that I did the other day did not as well.
Yeah.
Remember when I did it for the podcast?
Yeah.
I did not take the time to fully do it, which next time I'm sure I will. Like now, I don't mind. Now that I have the code written out and it's pretty easy to just plug in the string, I'm down to do this more.
Dude, what if... Hear me out. What if we do this? Let's make our own can of alphabet soup.
For sorting.
Yeah, well, I mean, in theory, we could get a can, we could fill it with some soup, and close it up.
I mean, and honestly, how hard is it to make your own company? Like, I'll make a specialized soup company.
Yeah, is Guinness going to be
Scout
cool with
soup.
all this? Yeah,
Well, maybe I'll have to have somebody else make the
especially
company.
when there's going to be like podcast evidence on YouTube of us plotting
Shut
right
up,
here.
dude. You can't be calling it evidence, bro. But so yeah, the can has a lot of broken letters in it. So I ended up with a lot of I's that I'm not positive were I's.
Yeah.
And there
Yeah, how do
were
you tell an I from an L? Is it capitals?
it's all capitals, yeah.
Okay.
And then I just figure okay, everything else is a capital. It'd be weird if they did a lowercase L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But O's seemed wider and Q's seemed more ovally, and I swear I could see a nub, but sometimes I wasn't sure. So I just know for sure there were some letters that weren't there. So we had A, B, no C, there were D's, E's, no F's that I could find. But again, a lot of letters broke up, so it's it's hard to tell, was this a P, was it an F, was it a T? No G's at all. Not a single G made it through, for sure. H, I, J, K, L, lots of I's. M and W, I think, were cut from the same thing. Or
I
if
was
they
going to ask
weren't,
about M and W and N and Z. Those seem like
Z
sort
and
of
N
similar.
were clearly different. Z
Yeah.
was taller and wider, whereas N was squished on the zigzag, if that makes sense.
yeah.
But W and M, I'm almost certain were actually cut from the same noodle. I don't think there's a difference between the two.
You
Because
just
it's,
flip it. Yeah.
yeah, when you look at the noodle, the way it's cut, it's like it's cut from a bendy shape noodle, but it's just cut at a slant. It's weird. But it like, I could see no discernible difference between them. So either I got like 10 W's.
So which letters weren't in there? Do you have like that list specifically?
I haven't figured that out quite yet. Let me write another couple lines of code.
No
And I'll
worries.
get that. But C, F, G, U. I didn't see any U's, but I could have misread that one. And that was it.
That's interesting.
U,
U and C
F,
are
G.
another one that kind of are similar, like a little bit.
Yeah, but there was neither of those looked.
Yeah. Which is interesting that both weren't there. Like,
Yeah.
huh.
But there was nothing that even looked like remotely like
I wonder if it's a brand thing, like, because the first time you did it, you found the whole thing.
I'm
like-
kind of curious if I'll have to end up going with Amy's
Yeah,
soup or
like
something. We'll see what
Amy's soup.
SpaghettiOs does. SpaghettiOs could be clutch. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Are we down for another attempt maybe next week, or are you
Sure.
gonna do one before
Yeah,
that,
I was
or-
going to, but I'm sick and like
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't want
no
to put in the
no.
effort.
Well, also, I believe we have 5-minute history today.
We might, yeah.
We might.
we might.
Huh?
We
don't have
might,
to.
yeah.
It can
We'll
be
see.
delayed whenever you're ready.
Yeah, for
How
sure.
about now?
How about now? Is that
Sure.
what you said?
How about now, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I got
And
really
lo-
nothing else to share on this.
Yeah. So you're proud of your code that you made for that?
I am. It was very cool to be
I don't-
like, oh,
so-
I want to write up a little Python code and then
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it in about 15, 20 minutes.
So okay, so you sorted through a whole can and you logged every letter that you found.
Yeah.
And
As I
then
was eating,
what does
I
the
would just
code
type in,
actually set? Like, how did that extrapolate it into the whole can again?
like how did it sort it?
Like you fed the code the data from the one can. How does it tell you? Did it give you an estimate for what to expect? Like,
Oh, out of other cans, you're
I
saying?
guess you probably need more cans.
Yeah, no, I
Input,
can't.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't make anything yet, and I'll have to like write more code for that. All this
Well,
does
would
is
it help
take in the
you-
raw data and count it and sort it.
So are you gonna sort more cans and like add to
Yeah.
that raw data? Okay, I could.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah.
you want, I could sort through some cans for you and like send you some.
Sweet.
Would
yeah.
that help? Yeah.
Yeah, all you need to do is like send me like a single like word of That's all I did.
I could send
So-
you like A through Z an account of how many were in each. How many of each were in the can? Like.
You can even just send like so what I did was I sat here and like DOBOTYQPX.
Okay, I see.
A. And then if you
I
send
can
me
send
that
it
like
to you like that. Yeah.
143 letter long string. Yeah, that's
Of
what my code
gibberish,
does.
yeah.
Is it takes the gibberish and processes into like, okay, this many A's, this many P's, no C's, no D's.
I'm gonna type the whole thing out and then it's gonna autocorrect at the end.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Though, yeah, I can definitely help you out with that.
Sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck finding the fucking soup, dude.
Yeah, there's the internet, you know.
Yeah, I definitely had
There's
to
the
order
internet.
mine off Amazon.
Yeah.
And it was way worth it to get the 12-pack.
I'll definitely go check the grocery store here, but
I looked
Yeah.
at several grocery stores, and then
You
eventually
got-
I found one that it said they had, but it's like 40 minutes away, so I was like,
fuck that.
I'll swing by maybe if I like go
You
that
got a
way
buddy.
sometime.
You got a buddy that lives down there. Tell him
Nah.
to bring some up. Yeah.
It's off in Mormon country. Next time you come up, I'll ask you to grab some. It's like in Lehigh.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
good.
well, I'll definitely
Yeah.
go check that out. Help you out.
Yeah.
With some data collection.
And Chris, if you want to get some alphabet soup and help me sort some, because honestly, I think that would be a pretty cool graphic to make. Like letters in alphabet soup per brand of soup. That would be fucking. That'd be a cool. Data is
dude,
beautiful
if
graph.
we no joke, if we collected enough data and actually like made like an interesting video about like the history of alphabet soup and then like how much of each
Somebody
letter
would be into
like,
that.
Oh yeah, we could 100% make a really interesting YouTube video that people would want to watch if we like.
And I
Oh,
would
yeah,
not be
definitely.
surprised if we could get in touch with get in touch with Amy's Soup and go to their like alphabet soup
Maybe.
factory and do like a 10-minute tour or something. I'm sure. I mean, they would
Yeah,
love the
and
publicity.
then we can rule the world.
Then we can start our own alphabet soup.
And then we can rule the galaxy, just
Yep.
like in Stellaris.
Yes.
The alphabet
Just before we
Imperium.
fire off the aerophasic engine.
Yes.
The
It all
alphabet
starts with
Imperium.
sorting alphabet soup.
Yep. It all starts with putting everything in its right place. All right, Chris, what do you got for us tonight?
Hold up. 5-minute history with Chris. 5-minute history with Chris. 5-minute history with Chris. 5-minute history. Here's Chris.
All right, 5-minute history returns with a vengeance. Due to some viewer mail there. Yeah, we're back in gear here.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry. Yeah, I appreciate that, Larry. All right, this week in 5-minute history, we delightfully return to the ordinary and everyday, to something that I would be willing to bet almost everyone who is watching or listening to this is either currently using or used in the last 24 hours.
Place bets now.
Place bets, yeah.
Do we get the
What do you
guess?
think it
Do we
is?
get the
Yeah.
Oh,
guess?
yeah, take a guess.
Can we get a hint? Can we get a?
Use
Is there a hint that won't blow
So
it?
all right, hold on. Are you 100% positive that Scott and I have both used this in the last day? Is that what you're saying?
I would feel 99.9 repeating percent
Okay.
confident that you are currently using it, or you have used it in the last
Currently using it.
or
Okay,
have
cup.
used it in the last.
A cup, I'm going to guess.
All right, strike one.
All right. That's my one guess.
Hold on. Currently using it or have used it. Last 24 hours. Can I get a hint? Yeah, what's a hint?
Okay, I'll read you the next sentence of my script here because remember,
Okay.
high production values for
Oh,
5-minute
yeah.
history. High production values.
Which we
Oh, yeah.
appreciate.
Oh, yes.
Most of us literally overlook this item in our daily lives, yet it is often underfoot and considered an integral part of daily life of getting ready for the day or activity.
Is it a sock?
Bingo! Sock.
Nice.
If you have only one, that's right. Congratulations.
Nice.
If you have only one, you may be tempted to say, darn it, that was going to be the third hint.
Darn
Until
it.
you,
Nice.
Darn it, yeah. Until you find another one. So let's knock your socks off with the humble sock. The modern word sock comes from the English word sock, S-O-C-C, which meant light slipper.
Comes from English sock.
S-O-C-C. Come
Yeah,
on
yeah,
now.
it's just funny.
Come on now, we're taking it back.
It's just funny.
Which meant light slipper, with the word first coming into its present spelling and usage about the 14th century.
Curious about the heavy slipper, I will say.
Light slipper.
I'm
This-
saying if that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
light
yeah,
slipper,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
curious
don't know.
about.
Good
Do
point.
they have a
good point.
combat slipper?
This word, in turn, came from the Latin word soccus, S-O-C-C-U-S, which described a light, low-heeled shoe typically worn by Roman actors, which in turn came from the Greek word psychos or psychos, S-Y-K-C-H-O-S. Psychos or psychos was a word for a kind of shoe that entered Greek from an Asian language. And we'll talk more later at the end about the use of the word sock in English, the English language later. At
I
its
have
most
I have some things to say about
okay.
it.
At its most
I have
basic,
some thoughts.
Yeah, some thoughts, okay.
I have some
At it-
sock thoughts, buddy.
Sock thoughts. At its most basic, a sock is a piece of clothing worn on the feet, often covering the ankle or further up the calf, depending on the exact type of sock and its intended function. In the ancient world, socks were constructed of leather or matted animal hair. By the 16th century,
Nice.
sock knitting by machine became possible, greatly increasing the speed of sock manufacturing and lowering the cost of ownership over hand-knitted versions. However, both handmade and machine-made socks were commonplace until well into the 19th century.
Is this in like Europe and the
Worldwide.
Americas?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
yes. I mean, by 19th century, pretty much worldwide.
Okay.
Because not everybody was wearing socks, right? Everybody wears socks.
Pretty
Who don't wear
much, yeah.
socks?
Pretty much.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are socks worldwide?
I would say, unless you're living in
I
a,
guess
you know,
in places where you like. What about
Right.
places where you wear sandals all the time?
I would say
Well,
really hot places, yeah.
Like
more on that,
Hawaii.
more on that. Come on.
Oh,
Thank you for
okay.
foreshadowing.
You
Sorry,
call me a
sorry,
moron?
sorry.
Do you call me
Say-
a moron?
We
Thank
should
you for
stop
foreshadowing.
interrupting and let
Yeah.
the man read his
Thank you for
well-produced
foreshadowing.
script.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing, excuse me. Socks have a few basic roles to fulfill. The human foot is capable of creating a tremendous amount of sweat, with volumes over a quarter pint a day not uncommon in hot humid climates or during activities that require significant physical exertion. Socks absorb the sweat created by the foot and wick it away to areas where evaporation might be possible. In environments where colder temperatures are common, socks help insulate the foot from coldness, often being constructed of wool or in blends with wool and synthetic materials. Historically, hand knitting socks was a time-consuming process, which meant the resulting pair was expensive to own and frequently affordable only to the rich. Some parallels, by the way, with our first 5-minute history with the fork.
Mm-hmm.
Poorer individuals wore foot wraps, which were simple cloth wrapped around the feet. Interestingly, foot wraps remained in widespread use among Eastern European military forces until the early 21st century, owing to their lower cost, shorter drying periods, and greater resistance to wear. It was
Yeah,
easier
definitely
for
think about like martial artists and stuff with those foot wraps and
yeah,
That's what you're
they're not
talking
wearing
about,
that. Yeah. Eastern European, we're talking like, Poland, Southern
Oh, I'm
European,
sorry, I
Russia, right?
Yeah, my
Eastern
bad.
European.
You said
yeah,
Asia.
Eastern-
less east. Less
I
east.
missed
Le-
that.
less
yeah.
east. Yeah. It was easier for a soldier to reposition a foot wrap if it became torn than it was with a sock. The Greek poet Hesiod, writing in the 8th century BC, stated that the Greeks of that time wore pilloe, P-I-L-O-E, made from animal hair. Later Romans preferred foot wraps when they wore socks at all. By the 2nd century AD, Roman udones, U-D-O-N-E-S, were perhaps the precursor to the modern sock, being a foot wrap sewn together, basically.
And then
right?
what else did they wear? Was it
That
just
was-
this thing?
A lot, unless you were a Roman, soldier in colder climates, pretty much they wore sandals.
That was it.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, pretty
this
much.
and sandals, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
gotcha.
getting there. We're getting there. Between 300 to 500 AD, the Egyptians created the first knit sock that had split toes, enabling the wearer to wear them with sandals in a process called nail binding, N-A-L or N-double-A-L binding. By the 5th century, puttees, P-U-T-T-E-E-S, symbolized religious purity in Europe. And if you've ever seen a picture of a World War I era soldier, whether it's America or somewhere else, puttees or leg wraps were a common feature of a soldier's uniform, being visible even on the outside of the pant and foot. If you imagine, foot, and then you have the wraps that go around it. That's technically a puttee. Back to today. By the Middle Ages, pants.
Do you have pictures that you can share?
I
I'm
do not have
gonna
any.
no need. I'm gonna post as He's
I
saying
would
this,
like pictures.
I'm gonna,
there are
like,
needs
put
for
up-
me.
okay,
Okay,
yeah,
look
but no
up a
need to
picture.
like
I have a need.
screen share. No need to screen share.
P-U-T-T-E-E-S.
I'm seeing it. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
By the
kind of
middle-
like a gator almost.
Yes.
It's
yes.
like a very
They
tight
are-
gator.
It's all kind of closely related here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
By the-
planning on like as he's reading the script, like getting pictures
Yeah,
of
sure.
what he's talking about
Okay,
and
all right.
having it on screen. Like,
Yeah.
By the
I'm
middle-
just also very confused.
yeah, for sure.
By the Middle Ages, pants or trousers, as they are more correctly termed, had gotten longer, and the sock became a means of covering the lower part of the leg. Socks of this era were often brightly colored and fit tightly over the lower part of your leg. As elastic had not yet been invented, garters were needed and typically were attached just beneath the knee on the leg. When pants made their transition into breeches, so short pants, socks necessarily became longer and more expensive. Think of breeches like Revolutionary War, Founding Fathers, that kind of thing is a breech. Tightly fitting, where was I here? Prior to then, socks had been a status symbol, with French and Italian aristocrats leading the way. Tightly fitting long socks that would more closely resemble what we would call today leggings allowed the wearer a great deal of movement and ease of movement. Plus, pay attention, gentlemen, it showed off a man's calves, widely considered a sex symbol, and were often part of outerwear visible to the observer. So in medieval times, Middle Ages times, the shape of your calf, the size and shape of your calf, was considered more hot than something else might be, if you could think of it.
My calves are dead sexy.
Your calves were dead sexy.
Ladies like my calves.
The ladies would definitely look down at your calves. Yeah.
So I will say I've definitely seen like painted pictures with guys that I've thought like, wow, that's a very accentuated calf. Like when I think of this era of painting, I think like they have very thick calves.
Shout out to one of our listeners and person with great calves. Ziggy has some of the greatest, best looking
Very
calves
nice
I've ever
calves.
seen. Next
Some
time
of
he's
the hardest worked calves.
oh yeah, next time
Those
he's
are
on,
well-earned
we'll have to
calves.
remember to get him to show them because like
Yeah.
you guys think I'm, but dude, this guy's calves are immaculate. Continue, Chris.
His calves are dead sexy.
Back in those days, yes. All right, let's continue. In Scotland, the Argyle sock is thought to derive from this history, as the patterns would display a man's familial heritage, much in the way of tartan would. In 1500s England,
That'd be pretty fucking cool. Have like
Yeah.
socks that tell my life story.
that's exactly what it did. Yep.
Seuss socks like with like Seuss Turtle Island, all kinds of cool shit.
In 1500s England, laws were created to ensure everyone wore the correct type of socks. The knitting machine was invented in 1589 by the English priest William Lee. Lee sought a royal patent to make socks for Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth I. However, Lee's socks were made of wool and uncomfortable to wear because of that. Also, Elizabeth was concerned that such a machine would take away jobs from hand knitters, so she ultimately refused Lee his patent. However, Lee was not easily deterred. King Henry IV of France was impressed by Lee's invention and granted Lee the royal patent he sought in France to produce stockings or socks. Lee's designs were eventually copied across Europe and then the world, greatly lowering the cost of sock manufacturing and purchasing. The Industrial Revolution only continued this process, driving down sock manufacturing costs even more. Socks could now be produced several orders of magnitude faster than hand methods ever could. Prior to the invention of nylon in 1938, socks were made almost exclusively of silk, cotton, or wool. The introduction of nylon made socks typically composed of a blend of fibers, a process that continues to this day. Fort Payne, Alabama, was regarded as the sock capital of the world, as nearly half of all socks manufactured worldwide were made there up until the early 21st century, employing over 7,000 workers. Want to take a guess? Want to take a guess where the sock manufacturing capital of the world is today?
China?
You shouldn't really. I was going to say you shouldn't really need a guess. Yeah. Shouldn't really need a guess. Yeah.
China or India? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Little places for those people. Yeah.
Yep. Recently, Datang, China, D-A-T-A-N-G, China, has taken that title as the world's largest sock producing area, naming itself Sock City, producing 8 billion pairs of socks each year. Today, socks come in no-show styles, ankle length, quarter length, crew length, mid-calf, knee-high, and even thigh-high socks, commonly worn by women under dresses or skirts, often for erotic purposes, by the way.
That's why I wear
However,
them.
yeah, I was going to ask you, but I didn't know if you were comfortable sharing. However,
When I
simply,
throw on my white champion socks, it's to look a
You're-
bit sexy. It's
Oh,
because
yeah.
the ladies like my calves.
However, simply wearing the clothing item is not the only use of socks historically or today. Socks are used during Christmas traditions as a location of Santa Claus to place presents after descending the chimney on Christmas night. And in Islam, socks have become an issue in ceremonial cleaning before prayer, with some Muslim clerics allowing a sock to be wiped or sprinkled rather than cleaning bare feet. Now to return to the use of the word sock in English. To sock someone, as in beating them, first came into English around 1700. Socking away money for savings first appeared in 1942, approximately. Sockdologizing was probably among the last words heard by President Abraham Lincoln during the 1865 performance of Our American Cousin, the play during which he was assassinated, with John Wilkes Booth waiting until the line was said and the ensuing laughter to cover up the sound of the fatal pistol shot. In this sense, the word sockdologizing, bizarre in modern English usage, meant a conclusive argument or a decisive blow. So there we have it. The humble sock.
Wow.
Yep.
Thank you. Nice.
Yep.
Interesting.
Nice.
So it kind of seems like the trend of the sock is towards the minimum, I will say. It seems like the sock is getting smaller. Is that fair?
No and yes. So, like in ancient times,
Nice. Good answer.
Well,
Good answer.
Let me explain because it depends.
Well, yes, but no.
It depends. Like most things in history, it depends. As pants got shorter, longer, or weren't there, socks would get shorter, longer. If you want to see, I wish I had one ready. I should have done that, but I did not. There's a couple excellent videos on YouTube of Revolutionary War or 17th, 18th century reenactors, and forget the women for a second, but it shows exactly what was needed, I guess, for a man to get dressed at that era, and you see all the various layers, but one of them are the socks, which are quite long. So,
Interesting.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I look forward
Fascinating.
to finding all the images and stuff to go along with you
Yes.
talking there. I think it's going to look cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, breeches. Look up now binding. All those terms. There are pictures.
Oh, I noticed.
There are pictures in Wikipedia that you are free to use. So
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. At the beginning, you were talking about how the base of the word is SOCC.
SOCC was the Old English word that
Yeah.
sock most immediately comes from. Yeah.
And that made me think of like soccer. That's how you spell soccer, SOCCER. And then you went on to say like it is like describes like a low-fitting boot or something, which is like
it
a
almost
cleat
certainly
that
has the
they
same
use for
root.
soccer.
My
Yeah.
It's
guess
almost
would be
certainly
right.
the same root.
A game that you play with your foot and the thing you put on
With
your
socks
foot.
on, yeah.
And actually-
Right, originally with socks,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody who's a fan of us Americans say soccer will know that like people, Europeans and others will like to laugh, like joke that no, it's actually called football. That
Football.
soccer actually came from England. They invented that.
Can I
word.
give a shout out to Ramiro and all the other soccer fans that might watch this podcast?
Hey, yeah.
There
not.
you go.
Respectfully
There you go.
declined. Declined.
There you go.
No shout out. No shout out. Shut it down.
In case you didn't know, yeah, the word soccer actually was created by the English. There are still living older English people that like were around when they used soccer for calling that game. So it's all silly when they make fun of it for not being called
Propaganda.
There you
football.
go. There you go.
But yeah, interesting. Not surprised that at one point the sock was like a symbol of the elite, but definitely seems like an item that
You could have one. Yeah.
Fancy
would
If you
have
had,
been
if you had
by-
brightly colored ones, multiple socks.
Fancy socks.
yeah.
Definitely.
Prance around the streets and show all the peasants my colorful socks. Yeah.
Yep.
All the ladies love my socks because they know it shows I got big.
Are you
Calves?
are you wearing socks right now? either
Thank
of
you, Chris.
Yeah, we all. Yeah. Everybody's wearing socks now, right?
No,
I'm actually
not.
not. I have my slippers on. Actually, I don't have anything on right now except my heater.
I'm barefoot. I usually am
Yeah, I'm
barefoot,
barefoot.
in my house. Yeah,
But have you worn socks in the past 24 hours?
for sure, definitely.
Yeah, of course.
You nailed it there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, definitely the last 24.
And I have a sock in the room with me, my pineapple
That's
sock.
good thing this isn't smell-o-vision.
You don't want to smell
Yeah,
that? I love Walker's scent.
We,
it actually smells like pineapples.
We good. So tell Larry he got his 5-minute
Yeah,
history.
There you go,
we
Larry.
look forward. I'm
You know
sure. You know what? I'm sure Larry's going to write us a letter sometime this week. I'll
know,
read it next week on the show.
Yes, because I too, I just got it before the podcast started, and I didn't have quite have time to read it.
Yeah.
But I definitely got some emails from the 5-Minute History Club fan
yeah.
club. So I think next week I'll have to absolutely share them with you,
Yeah.
because I think they had some really good points to make about fairness with segments. So, like I said, I'm going to read them. I'm going to read them and digest, and then I think we
Dude,
definitely need some equity and fairness.
Can you please sound clip that fairness in segments?
Definitely,
Um,
definitely going to read those because I saw some interesting subject lines.
I was actually going to bring up something. So I've what is this? The third or fourth 5-minute history you've done, right?
Fifth, I think.
Fifth. It's the fifth. Okay.
Because we did the fork, we did barbecue.
Yeah, I wish it would have been sixth. I wish Chris would have been
Eraser.
like sixth Walker.
Fork, barbecue, eraser, can opener,
Yeah.
and this fifth. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fifth.
I was
Sounds
gonna
right.
say it seems like you're steering towards like everyday objects or things you wouldn't think about the history for, which is totally cool. I love it. I was thinking about like, what do you think about maybe changing the name of the segment to like, I don't know. I'm like,
Well,
I think of some ideas, but like
I
maybe
think
like
5-minute history is kind of a joke because it's never 5 minutes.
it's
and-
definitely a joke. I
Right,
also thought
and-
about putting up a timer in the corner every
Do
time.
it, yeah. Plus, I mean, 5-minute history really the door is wide open. I mean, everything's fair game. Whether you pick something that's kind of mundane and everyday like the sock or
Yeah.
the eraser,
Nah.
or if
That's
I wanted
fine.
to do something a little bit more well known. But the problem with more well known is it's more well known. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely cool with keeping it, and I think it would be really funny if one day, way in the future, we actually were able to nail down exactly 5 minutes on it once, and then just like,
Yes, Scout.
that'd be hilarious. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. Well, I was going to say we could also, too, if you want to stretch your legs, Chris, I would be down to tackle bigger history segment. Like, if you wanted to do a half-hour segment on not, like, a racer, but if you were like, oh, I'd like to do it on this naval battle or this, like, this bigger topic. Because
Or
I know
this
you
thing
have...
Scout wants to talk
I
about.
have a bigger topic, but I have to finish
Yeah.
reading the book so that I can
Okay.
talk intelligently about it.
Well, I was going to say, if you want help with that, I could help you, like... I'd be happy to play the dumb man for that, you know?
Oh, I don't need you to play.
No need to play. No need to play.
No need.
No need to
You
play.
were already cast, my man.
But I definitely have to read the book to be able to really, because like I said, somebody legit wrote a 300-page deep dive book about this thing. I won't spoil it, but I want to read it in order to be able to really summarize it and then talk intelligently about it.
Oh, I wonder if I know what it is. I kind of...
Take a guess. I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Filing cabinets.
Why do you think that?
Is that... Didn't you read a book about that once?
I have a book about that, yeah, but why do you think... No, it's not filing cabinets.
Is it... Well, is it like a topic like that, or is it like a historical event?
I would say it's maybe not as everyday as socks, but it's not quite so niche as that.
But is it like an item, or is it an event, I guess?
Item. Oh, totally an item. Yeah, totally. An item.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, hell yeah.
Sweet. We
I'm
look
looking
forward
forward
to
to
the
that.
development of that in the future. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. I think I got one short thing, and then we can get out of here. Let's see. Play this. Howdy, listeners. It's time for the joke of the day. Oh, yeah. I figured since it was Valentine's Day, we could end with the Valentine's Day joke here.
Perfect.
What Valentine... what va...
Okay.
What Valentine's message can you find in a honeycomb?
What?
Yeah,
Be mine.
Ba-dum.
where's the soundboard? Come on.
Well, there we go. Oh, I
It's cool.
played,
I got it.
played another one. Well, hell yeah.
Nice.
I think that about does her then. We'll end on that terrible joke. Nice, well,
Perfect.
High quality.
yeah.
10
Next
out of
week,
10.
We'll
Bye.
collect some alphabet soup data and
Yep.
maybe have some more info on
Hell
that
yeah.
next week. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm already figuring out how to write it to show me the letters that are missing and start figuring out
Ooh.
trends and stuff.
Oh boy.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Peace out.
Yep.
Bye.
Peace out.